Well, Paul, I know this is not supposed to be a roast, but I was approached by no less than 5 people at the cocktail hour and said, hey, if you need any roasting material on Mr. Knapp, please let us know. So I've got that, but hey, Paul Knapp has been an outstanding director of venture banks since our inception in November of 2001. Paul is the president and CEO of Space Center Ventures. Space Center Ventures makes investments in emerging companies, high-tech companies, med-tech type companies. He's also on the board of 2 other companies besides Venture Bank. There are many attributes that make Paul Knapp an outstanding director. Here are a few of my favorites. First off, Paul comes with a very diverse business background. You know, we're a business bank, and so his experiences with those different management teams, directors, he's seen a lot of projections that didn't exactly work out. So he's got a lot of experience that way, and that's very helpful to us as a business bank. Paul comes to our meetings prepared. We have a lot of information in banking that gets sent out. I mean, including financial information, marketing, policies, procedures. I mean, it goes on and on. New loan requests. There's a lot of information that comes out. He's thorough. He asks good questions. He comes prepared. Paul professionally. He's not afraid to professionally challenge management. We come with our recommendations, and as president, I try to come with mine. But he's not afraid to professionally challenge us. He doesn't micromanage though, and he's not afraid to vote no when it's appropriate. Paul did not come to us with a business banking background or a banking background. So 7 years ago, he had to learn about banking, and he spent a lot of time learning the nuances of banking. And now, after this time, he's very good at it, but now he's challenging us. Hey, we got to think out of the box. Times are different. Times are difficult in banking. Let's not just do it the way we did it in the last 10 years. Let's think about other things. One of the things I appreciate about Paul, at least I think I do, I can't intimidate Paul Knapp. I try to every once in a while. I try to use my 30-plus years of business banking experience to sway my directors, but I don't think he's very impressed. Paul is very professional, but he's very fun. He's the king of the one-liners, and so sometimes we can be a little contentious at meetings, and he can break up, and he's a lot of fun to be around. One of the best things about him, beyond the board meeting, Paul cares about the bank. I mean, I get several phone messages, emails from time to time about, hey, I was thinking about what we talked about at the meeting. I'd like you to follow up for some additional information, or here's a risk area that we really haven't focused on. And as a management, you know how it goes as a management team. You're busy, you're doing things, and you don't focus on some of those risks. So he's thinking about the bank all the time, and that really makes a difference. Lastly, my favorite thing about Mr. Knapp, he's not retiring soon. Paul's a young guy. He's got 3 very young children. I'm looking forward to him being an outstanding director of Venture Bank for many years. Mr. Paul Knapp.
Well, thanks, Mike. And good evening, everyone. As Mike said, I manage a venture capital fund called Space Center Ventures. And as a consequence of that involvement, over the course of my career, I have invested in about 26 different startup companies and served on more than 20 public and private for-profit and not-for-profit boards. I have some appreciation for what it takes to successfully launch and carry forward a new venture. I have the bruises to prove it. My experience on the venture bank board is among the highlights of my career. I consider it my great good fortune to have been on the venture bank board since its inception in 2001. Over the course of my 8 years of service, I really marveled at the bank's progress. It has evolved from the germ of an idea into a bank that's the top performing bank in its class, $250 million in assets, 60 employees, 3 locations, and it is among the most respected banks in the Twin Cities. All this in 8 years. And then the logical question is, well, how did this happen? All enduring businesses are ultimately the product of exceptional leadership. And in my experience, leadership is comprised of equal parts vision and performance. In 2001, Mike Zank and his CFO, Gwen Stanley, articulated a very clear vision for Venture Bank. They were committed to Venture Bank becoming this community's leading business bank. They proceeded over the following 8 years to perform in the following fashion. They have led their employees not by dictate, but by example. They have been absolutely uncompromising in their commitment to excellence in all aspects of their operations. And they've done all of this with a wonderful sense of both humor and a wonderful sense of humility. It's not surprising then that the bank has been able to attract the very best talent available in the community. And why not? I mean, who doesn't like to work for a winner? The bank's employees have embraced Mike's and Gwen's vision to the point that at this point it's almost part of their DNA. They believe that Venture Bank is the best business bank in the Twin Cities. And as a consequence, they demand an exceptional level of performance both in themselves and their colleagues. You know, when excellence becomes the standard in a business, and particularly in an emerging company, a wonderful thing happens. Customers respond. Customers do what my friend Vance Opperman refers to as undergo a religious experience of separating themselves from their dollars. And why not? Customers like to do business with winners. Customers like to be associated with someone that they perceive to be the best in their class and a winner. Well, as you might readily suspect, all of this is good for business. And for those of you that are familiar with the banking industry in the Twin Cities, you've no doubt heard of the exceptional financial performance of Venture Bank and its relative ranking compared to its peers. So the vision that Mike and Gwen had in 2001 has become reality, and there's no going back. I absolutely love being in the startup business. I love the energy, the vibe, the enthusiasm that you see in these startups. It's just absolutely a wonderful line of business to be in. But it's terrifying, it's difficult, there's just nothing easy about it. But when it's done well, and particularly when it's done exceptionally well, as is the case at Venture Bank, it's unbelievably gratifying. It has been a privilege to play some small part in the growth of Venture Bank, and I have to thank Mike Zank, Gwen Stanley as CFO, who couldn't be here tonight, the employees of the bank, and my fellow board members. And if I aspire to anything, it is that Venture Bank is as proud of my service on its board as I am to be a board member at Venture Bank. Thank you also to Jay and Twin Cities Business, and thank you.